welcome to me making my first fairy with what's it called? IbisPaint. Still trying to learn the name of it and all that. We'll get IbisPaint up and running. Now I've got another one here which I'm going to be trying eventually, but not now. That's going to be much further down the track. Why is it not working? Yeah, man. That's it, working now. Now, I've got some extra goodies in here, so we'll just simply jump in and start this. We want that one and that one. Now, we did get we're trying to make a cat nose. I'm thinking, what type of, I'm thinking I want to make a fairy, right? What type of fairy do I like? What type of race do I want to make of beings? So I'm doing lots of Keyboard. So pretty much this is what I started off. Okay, we'll go into here. So I searched I searched online for cat. Wait till that does this thing. For cat pics, and I'm just looking around. What do I need? What am I looking for the angle? What type of expression do I want? So forth like that. So I end up coming across this cat pic here, which is in color. I converted that there. So I'll grab that, and it's looking the wrong way. So I converted the look. So I switched it over the look, and then now I've got this one, and I've done a quick outline of it. I'm still as before. I think I'm doing okay compared to. What's the name? But okay, let's see. This is gonna take a while to process because it's we've got layers and stuff like that up. Oh no, it's my PC, or is it the program itself? Probably my PC. I want to probably get rid of some layers. Okay, so it's still processing. Come on. Oh, there we are. So, let's bring up the layers. Bring up all the layers. So it's taken a while to figure this out. So that's all the layers that I have so far. This is going to be my main layer, this back one. That's the back picture, so that's where the fairy will be just flying around. This one was my original outline. I don't think I need that anymore. Let's turn it off, but I might delete that because that's my original outline I got from the store here, and that changes everything. But I'm not quite sure. Don't see that. Armrest always perfect. That would be my question mark there. So that's that one. We'll turn that off for time being. And then we've got that one there, which that was for the ears, so I don't need that on anymore. So these two layers could probably remove. This is my original sketch. That's my original outline. So I'll leave that on for time being. That's the left eye. How do I combine layers? I want to combine that one and that one together. Is there a way to do that? Yeah. Okay, you can lock layers as well too. Okay, cool. That one there. What was that one? Do you know what 7 is? Okay, so let's switch off. So what's 7? Oh, they're lips. And what was 6? I think 6 was the eye. Oh yeah, they're the lips I drew the outline of. So if we go and zoom in, switch this one off at the moment. Switch that one off. So I managed to, that was the outline for the lips. So we don't need that anymore because that's actually perfect. So we can remove that layer off there. The eyes are still got a draw in, which I want to do next. Which is, yeah, that one there. I'll make, how do I do, yeah. So that was that one. That's that one. So I've got to make another layer for these two. And then I can switch those two out, delete them. But that's the ears. I don't need that layer anymore because I've got the ears how I want them to be. I never need the background. Right. Switch that off. The wings. And that's the main outline there. But I'll just have that one switched off. You can see how I've etched around it. They're the original ears you see in there. That's what I've got. Actually, I will do. That means I've got to pull this one down. I knew there was a problem somewhere. So if we go into here, we want to try and match that ear with that one. Yeah, that's what we didn't do. So we want to go with that tool. Can we do it this way or do we have to do it? No. That's not what I'm looking for. No, it's not that one there. That's that one. Where is the ear one I drew? Did I draw that as part of that one? Oh, I did draw it on that one now, that layer. So how do I change that? Oh yeah, that's what I've got to do, is probably do the lasso, is it? I've got to change. No, it's not going to work. We need to. No, it's too far down there as well. Okay. So what do we have to do? Now with that one, there we are. Now we want to try to match that here. The side of that one, we can get rid of that stuff in a minute. But I actually forgot, I actually added that part of that layer. We can actually give the ear a twist. Make it a lump slightly. Yeah, we can actually create. We could actually really give that an interesting look, couldn't we? We actually bend the ear, stretch it. No, we don't want to stretch it because we want to bring it down to there. And maybe twist it down. Or twist it up. You could really have some, extend it. It's more pointed. If I get the outline right, that could work. Or do I want to keep it simple? Yeah, making this one maybe simple to start with. But now we know we can do that. So that looks right. So now that's that one. But the only problem is this layer, it seems to be, You can't really get rid of that magic. Well, if we turn that original layer back. Oh, I got rid of the layer. Oh, I got rid of the... See, we want to keep it like that, but we have to probably modify that one. Why aren't you being erased? I want layer. Oh no, I want to ruin layer. That's why. So that's right layer. The ear is a different layer, isn't it? That's not the layer I want. Should be this layer. Why can't I get rid of that? Oh, that's my size. I was wondering about. Yeah, I was like, why is that not going anywhere? Size. Didn't I just erase? Come on, erase that. Thank you. Right, you're supposed to be erased. Why are they coming back? Okay. Why is that? That's... Why is that bouncing back? What have I done wrong? That's got me stumped on this one now. I'll have to save it maybe. Okay, so if we save that one, I save it as the other one, we'll save it as number. My first fairy, but we'll save it as a different. We'll save it as number one. So I'm actually thinking about creating a different. So that should work. Why not getting erased? You're getting erased, but it's not getting erased. It bounces straight back. Why is that doing that? No, there's nothing to do with that layer. That's the right. It's on the right layer. Nothing to do with that layer either. That's just erasing that, but that shouldn't be bouncing back either. Why is that? Okay, we'll put that to there. It wasn't the right label. Did I have it locked it? Why is that? That's curious, but let's try something here. Yeah, that's bounced back as well. Why is that doing that? If I can't do... That's... have I fucked up somewhere? That's annoying, because I should be able to just erase that there. Take all that out. Right? And then that should just disappear, but it's not... Why is it not disappearing? Because you can't... If I make a mistake, that should go... It's got rid of the ear there. Oh, I think I might know the problem. Pen. Go back to that color there, because that actually got rid of that. Oops, too much. It's a bit too thick, I think. Okay, that's that. So maybe because I'm on that still. That's why it saved it as the ear. Oh. Okay, so now how do I get out of the ear? Okay, how do I get out of lasso then? Okay, so that's now that part. So fix okay there. Switch over to... How do I get out of the lasso part? Because that's supposed to be the whole thing. If I switch that off, it switches to that. So how do I... do I hit that button there? No. Canvas. I got a canvas, maybe do that. Now, if I go to eraser, no, let's shrink it down. No, it still brings it up there. But won't, I'll only work on that area. How do I? No. That moves the whole thing, I think. Okay, so no, devil. How do I? I can't delete that one. I can't in this mode at the moment. When you save it, it only shows the ear. doesn't actually show the whole thing. So how do I get rid of the lasso? How do I get it so I can go back into that mode? Would that work? Okay, so let's go into that. Because I only supposed to work on each. Let's go into that one. That's a color one, but if we go with that now, no, it's still not in that area. Okay, so what am I doing wrong? We'll get to that in a minute. But we're still trying to figure this out. That's that outline there, but how do I get rid of delete the... Ah. Damn it, wish I had some help. I need help. If I go that, if I go there, we can, well, let me get rid of that. Just bounces back again. Please, double S. I'll jump on my Discord. I always go to chit chat. If she does, she's up. She might be up. She might not be. It's probably a bit late to call. I'll ask if she can. How do I get rid of that? I can't now delete anything in this picture. I can delete that, but it just bounces straight back. How do I get... There's something I've done with the lasso that's wrong. I've got to get rid of that line. I've got that. So if I try to remove anything here, would that get rid of that? No, it gets the same thing. That gets rid of it. It bounces straight back. So why I can link this, but no. How do I? And why is it only fixed as the ear though? It's saved. Do I have to go back and then try? I think I have to reload it in again and then try, because it's the right size ear, but now I can't do anything, can't get rid of. Why can't I get rid of it? That's got me stumped. Why can't I get rid of? Do I have to do something to lock that into place? But then I should be able to just erase that and not worry about it, but erase as part of the ear, fine. How do I? Okay, I made the lasso. But how do I make that part of that layer again? Maybe that might be it. No. Okay, undo. Would that erase that now? No. What have I done wrong? That's only controls that one. Oh, it's a clear layer. That's a separate layer. Oh. Okay, so we're going to go. We're going to load it back in. So that is created a separate layer. Select from file. Why you just, if that only just gives me the end. Ah, that's not working. So when you cut it, how do you make it so it snaps back into place? Okay, I can't figure this one out. And now, where are the rest of the layers? I lost them all. How the fuck did it do that? So how does lassoing it take it off? I need to talk to. I have to talk to find out how to do that properly. Okay. Let's go back to my. No. That is fine, but how now it just saved it as in ear. Why did it just save it as an ear? When I did the other lassoing one, it worked. This one should have all the one. No, that's not it either. What? Okay, so I lost that one as well. Back to there. Go back to here. So we've got to go back to that one. Lost its bloody ear now. Are you twat? How did you lose? How the fuck did you lose the ear? That's not my. How did I manage to lose the whole? How is it? Oh, this is not the best. I've lost an ear. That's my footy cat thing. We don't want to. That's what that was. I need to keep the side. That's where the ear was. That was where I was supposed to be where the ear was. Now it's deleted it. If we add, now hold on, let's see if we can get the eraser tool to this one. Can I use the eraser tool in here? Oh, the wrong one. It's not the wrong fucking. That one now. So now I should be able to use the eraser tool on that one. Okay, that's working now. But why? Why did it save the ear by itself, not as a... Okay, so if we bring that into play, grab the ear, input that into here. There you are. Now, very carefully. Leave that there for a second. Input line drawing. No. Actually, no, that's fine. We can use that. We don't need the color. Turn that one back on. Okay. Then we're going to go back to that tool and bring this one back into place. Not exactly what I wanted color-wise, but I should have just infected the thing like that. That should be fine. So there. That was weird. Now we can turn that off again. If we turn that off, Separate bloody. Oh, that's into there. Ah. This is a lot to learn. Because that one there was. We'll redraw this one a bit. No, that's the wrong bloody thing. That's the colour. No, we don't want. That's the only thing. I'm not quite a big fan about how that does that. Yeah, but if I do recolor that in, it's really that's okay. We can deal with that. No, that will have to do, sort of thing. Not what we want to do, but we can. So if we jump out of that one. So now we've got to remember that is on a different freaking canvas. Is there a way we can make that part of that canvas? So you can't select more than one. You can't combine layers, which is annoying. So we're going to make sure if we want to work on that layer, it's going to be that one. But problem we face, that is kind of screwed up. It's right sides here, right sides and all that, but it's just, how did I fuck that up? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Now up to there. But anyway, what? Okay, got a couple other things I'm going to want to work on this. So let's work on this. Okay, this one and this one. Let's first of all turn off all the other ones. I am just going to really have to look into that. So this is our cat nose and stuff like that. So we want this one ready. So we've got how I'm happy with that look. When you think about turn that off, I think that may be what I'm trying to achieve. Just got to work, line it up with the eyes. The mouth I'm keeping the same. I do like the mouth. So that can go off now. And now we want to put the eyes back in, the mouth back in. I don't know what that was. What was 5? 4's that. 5, I don't know what. That's that. What was 5? 5's blank. Okay, so we don't need the putty cut one anymore. I'll leave it alone there. Okay, that can go off. So 4. Why can't I combine the layer? I should be able to do. Okay, hold on. How to combine layers? Would that be information on how to do that? Don't worry about it, I'll delete that. Worry about deleting the message. Just she's not on. Don't want to disturb her. Don't want to disturb her from that one. I screwed up that. But can you combine layers in info? Combine. Can you combine layers in IbisPaint? IbisPaint. Two layers into one. Okay, so here we are. To merge two layers into one, open the layers window and open the layers window and select windows and tap the top layer of the two. Okay, so that's going to be the four. So tap that. Tap and select the merge down icon. Where's the merge down icon? Would that be that one there? So now, oh, okay. Now we learned something new. Figured it out. So I should be able to still then. Okay, so if we go to here, and go to that, that's better. So we've got to actually combine it and say if we go and take the arrow away. Okay, that's it, cool. Now we know. Okay, cool. So let's go into, that's the one eye. That's the other eye. So we want that one, and we want to go to that one. So now that comes both eyes. Perfect, because they're in the right spot. That's fine. We can work. That's much better. Okay, so back to this one now. Okay, now we know what we're doing. I hope we're knowing what we're doing now. We'll replace the ear one with that one now. Actually, hold on, no. I might want to put that back in and then. Well, the ish. Hold on. That's okay. We don't need to worry about having an orangey colour, so that's fine. We can work with that. We're going to work on the colours, so we don't need that. So now we know what we're doing. It doesn't really help if we don't have a manual too much. My first fairy. Okay, that seems to have lost its ear, so we'll do it as my first fairy. So now we've got that in place, and we're working with magic again. Is she going to sleep? Is she? I wish her good night. Wish my other daughter a good night. I've got another thing which I'm going to be showing. And this one merge. MERG. Oh, keep going on about things sometimes. which is annoying. One of my bad habits. Anyway, I'm on Discord anyway, people. So now we're going to be working on this. So now we've got that there, which we're really happy about. How to combine layers. It doesn't really... Okay, so if we get this one for a second, it doesn't really tell you, like if you hover over that, it doesn't tell you what it is. That would be a nice feature. Especially for newbies. Now, so we make sure we're on number 7 layer, which is the cat whiskers. 6 was the cat. We don't need that layer. Yeah, we don't need that layer anymore, so that one there can go. I'm being honest with you, we don't need to keep the layer if we don't need it. 5 was the lips, so we're keeping that one definitely. This one here, the color thing, so we've got to figure out how to do that in a minute, but that's later. So now we've got this one. We're going to bring this one into place. Now we've got to shrink it down and we'll stretch it all out and put onto that. Maybe the whiskers may be too much for it. Try to... No, is it too high? Here comes the hard part, trying to figure out whereabouts it's got to go into. Yeah, I don't know about the whiskers though, because that's too big. That would be the right size. It matches that eye. That one there's probably got maybe another thing there. That one there can join up. There's right, but not here. I can move the lips, maybe fraction over that. And lift it up a bit more, the lips. I've got to get proportions and do all that type of things and learn how to do more body and more anatomy in it as well. No, that just stretches that. Keep the lips about the right size. That's the center of that one. That should be underneath the nose. And the nose sort of centered. That's centered there, which is right. That's centered there, which is roughly right. So, I'm not quite sure about the whiskers. The nose I might keep, but I think I might remove the whiskers. So where we can hold space bar down. No, yes, right on this. You hold space bar down. Yeah, I think the whiskers may be too many, or just probably the right shape of the whiskers. So we want to take some of these whiskers out, make it a bit more neater. Not so rustic with the whiskers down a bit. They're going to change colour anyway, but I'm trying to get the lips are fine. I have to probably do a thing there. How am I going to do that? That's okay there. That works. So see 11 o'clock. I hope she's okay. Yeah, I was watching the old original Supergirl. And why sure do I really? Okay, let's put this into perspective. Okay, turn on. That's the original layer. Turn that off for a second. That's the. Oh, actually, turn the light on. Would that? That's it. Can you move it? No, you got to move it. You got to hold the space bar down. Was it space bar and control for rotate? Wasn't it? No. Okay, that's just space bar. That was the other one. This, yeah. I don't know how that cut there, but see if I turn. If I remove that. Oh, that's part of that one, isn't it? Yeah, those whiskers though are really. How do I get away with making them more feminine? How can I make the whiskers more feminine? That would work. How would I do that? Can't have more uniform. So maybe if I remove a couple more of those whiskers out of here and get the angles a bit better. Maybe thin them out a bit. It might work. So I don't need this line anymore now, do I? Is that set up right or is it not quite right? The nose maybe needs to be moved over more. I know I'm still learning this whole process. So if we put that there, because that line is supposed to represent like the face or how the face is looking. That could be. That's the bottom of the eye there. Okay, we go. How does it link to each other? I've got to learn how. Why is it? Yeah, people do it differently. Okay, so if you look at, say, a person's nose, let's view that out of there. So if we look at a person's nose here, that's fine. That's fine. Even the cat's that joins up to there, not the bottom. So that's where we want to try to draw a line, maybe from there, and then have that as a shadow effect. Okay. So that's the top section there, and that's where the lines will join together. So if we go to pen, try to make, no, not red, we want black at the moment. We want to join to about that. We'll fall down into here. We'll have to combine these layers together. Now that one there doesn't really need any touching up. See, that's where the eye goes there, so that's what it's looking at. So I want to extend that further because that one there's going to go there, so we'll have to go back into that one. Eventually, this is just rough estimation. That was just lips. That nose needs to come down more because that nose is just a fraction too. Maybe doing the hairs. Oops. Okay, snap that back to there. Needs to be moved down a fraction. That will do. That can still work, we can make that work. But that's more rounded here. So if we want to, how do we do that? Could make there, but then if I do that, then we want to go there, which is the nose is about right. I've got to learn it and to study different things. It's okay, we can do that now. Now we want to go into this one. That actually works, sort of. Let's have a look at this. Do we want that to touch that one? So we want that to be that's the wrong. Sorry, we wanted that one. With that touching that. So we'll create a shadow there. If we combine those together, I'm just trying to get this so it's just right. Maybe thinner. So this gives me an idea of where I want to do shadows and stuff like that as well. Like that one there, we've got to combine those layers, 3 layers together. Because these actually work, don't they? Okay. It's probably that I could probably go back more or sunk in more. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be sitting right. See, when they look more face turn left. This is my very first attempt of doing anything like this in 38 years. I'm getting there slowly, so. Okay, that's the, they're both the same now, the same thing, but how can I turn that one off and make that one smaller? I'd have to do the lasso, then probably redo that again. Okay, so that one, that one, that one we want to combine. So we want to combine that one, the one below it. We want to combine that one and that one together. So now we got that, and we got that, and we got that. I'm not going to combine these then until I eventually get the thing what I want done. Done. So let's go back out of here. I've got to figure out how to sync this eye into the face more. Maybe I might be able to do that with shadow and stuff like that. Maybe that might not be really there perfect, but oh well. So we want to do here. I'll go to. That's what we want. Yep, we want to get rid of some of this stuff. So we've got a cat nose. We're happy with that. We'll get rid of all of this. Make that one. There we go. Don't need any of this here. Tidy that up. Perfect. That actually looks pretty good. I'm thinking of doing a tail too. I don't know yet if I want to do a tail or not. Next is hair. We want to do hair in this character now, but how are we going to do that? The eyes are probably, we will have to work on these eyes a bit more. But we're going to sit down and have a look at the picture with it and work on the eyes, and the same with the lips. I want to be able to get colour into those lips. And you've got the basic outline, you got the same with the nose, you got the basic outline. I could probably put little freckles on here for the nose, or maybe even make that slightly bigger, but that's darker, then it's going to be really. We'll figure out colours and stuff like that, because there is something I'm going to try. So let's have a look. We're looking for is BL. See if they actually got blue hair on here. So this way makes it easier, sort of like, what type of thing do I want to try to put into here? How is cat ears part of hair? So the octopus, okay. Anything that's blue. Blue varies. I mean, I typed in blue hair. Those ones. I have to admit, this is a fun one to use. There's another program which I want to try to use, but that is going to be for later. It's going to be a bit awkward to try to set up. Then I got rabbit ears in time, but don't. So I haven't drawn it hair for a long time, or done anything like that. So I'm looking at. I could get hair and try and get an outline of a hair, but it's taken a long time to do all that type of stuff. I was trying to do it today, but I just couldn't wake up today to do what I wanted to do. But I want to try to create a race of cat fairies. So this is like got the ears there, got the nose. Each will have the nose, right? It depends on how much more cat stuff I can put into them. But keep a fairy, and like the wings have got to be the same. Male or female doesn't matter, or non-binary. If you're, yeah, some will probably have that non-binary because technically fairies can get away with non-binary. But we'll just do a female to start with, and then we'll work on that. Could be warrior ones as well. I'm going to put clothing on this one somehow. That's going to be the hard part, trying to figure out clothing. I should have done something sitting down, something fairy with clothing. Yeah. See, what do I want hairstyle do I want this one to have? What am I trying to get this one to represent? There's a lot more. There's not much of a list they give for paid program. I'm surprised it lacks in. Okay, so we just type in hair, maybe not blue hair, because we can color it blue ourselves. H-E-R-I. I think that's right. H-A. I'm hopeless with spelling. Okay. Then it comes to ducks. How is ducks here? Or octopuses, or bumblebees. Then you got this type of hair. Tempted. But I've got ears on it, so I don't need ears. Oh, hello. I like that. That actually might work. It just needs to be turned maybe. Oh, wow. See, some of them makes it easier. You don't have to worry about changing colours on it. But you probably would change the colours anyway. What blue hair, bro? I think you're making the eyes like golden. That's what I could possibly do. Again, I can go ear clips. Now, one other thing I'm going to be throwing into here as well. Okay, so we're run out of hair. Oh, they're pretty. I mean, you could really go overboard with items in this game. I'd have to look for fairy outfits and go for what type of fairy I'm trying to create. So you're going to make this where I'm going to be looking at stories. How do I want this particular fairy to be? What I'm trying to achieve with the look. What's the fairy's role in the world she lives in? That would be good, but maybe convert that one. I'm thinking this is the best one. So this one or this one. I like the colours of that one, but I might go that one. They do like those colours. Let's have a look at this one. How do I? No, I don't like that one. I like the headphones. Let me find my beep again. Okay. I think somebody else on Discord. Twitch. Who's on Twitch? Drops live. Watch. No. And then after those drops. Okay, that actually. Oh, cool. There it was. Okay. Look at the mic. Oh, the mic. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I'm completely an amateur compared to everybody, to a lot of other people. But I'm not worried about, because I'm only, I do like that. But would that be the fairy I want to do? No, probably not. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, we could go, oh, it comes with accessories. Probably we get rid of some of that head though out of there. No, it's got ears on it though. I'd have to get rid of the ears. And I'd have to shrink it down. It's got to fit the head. The head's got to be, some of that head's got to be removed. Not that, I like that, but I can't really use that. That's how much you already sort of said that. It could go there, but then put it there, it's too far up forward and you'd have to somehow stretch that far down. No. So you've got to be careful on what the accessories are too. Well, that's not too bad. That I don't mind. We'd have to shrink the head down, maybe. Would that make? See, that just makes it too big. That head is way too big for the eyes, aren't they? I don't want to make it a bald fairy. No matter what I do, that's not going to work either. So we're going to have to figure out something else. Make it a bald fairy. No, I can't. That head's way too big. Proportion to the body. So we're trying to find something that's going to fit. There's a Japanese type of look. Kind of not what I want. That's probably exactly what I'm looking for. But how do I... Is that ear the right size then? Do I have to shrink that ear down? No, the head just can't be. That's not going to work either. How to draw hair in. How do I get the hair to affect it so it looks natural? Because that's... Unless I make that bigger, but that's where the line was for the eyes. Or was that for the nose? But that's the ears are. So that's perfect for the height for that. That ear may need to come down. Like, that's just no, I need something more realistic here. How is that hair? Really? That's a bloody chair. Then we got benches. I mean, really? No, I don't think there's anything in here that I want to use. Actually, hold on. No, wrong one. Oh. need a bigger selection of hair. Maybe cat hair. Cat hair, maybe. Yeah, but they don't. I think they can look. That could work. But it's too. That actually might work. Let's have a look. So you could have that flicking so it's. But that's the proportion of her face. That was totally. So if we're looking at the sides of the hair. That actually suits her. I'm going to have to modify this side of the face though. Unless I bring this over more. Okay, accept that one for a second. Yeah, I'm going to modify this head. It's going to be then moved a bit. Kind of looks like a weird man there. So that means I've got to remove that, but I put that one underneath. I might want to move that one over to that way a bit. That could go bigger. That's suited. That's too big because it's too close to the ear. That would work. So we go back to that one. Go back to that one. Bring it wide, maybe. That would be more the sides, but then a good look at the head style too. That's way. See, I could do that, but then that's simply. Would that work? Because was the skull that? Oh, she's leaning forward, but now you lose the breast. Ah. Hmm. That actually suits the head. So if we bring it down to there, that brings up a bit of those lines out, which I could have removed. Actually, that might be better. See, that's too big, maybe that one. So you can still get the hint of the breast in there. Maybe stretch and small. There we are. we look at it from a distance, the skull, we can remove this line out of there. That looks like it's part of the... I want that part, the breast, to be seen. I could cover it like that there, that covers the breast, but that makes it look a bit too big, I think. I'm trying to get the proportions right as well. That actually works. See, I would have to clear this up here. And we can clear that line there because it needs to be there. That works. Yeah. I got to learn. I'm going to start looking at going back to hand drawing as well. My daughter is what I'm following. What did she tell me? She said she'd try working on drawing traditional too from time to time, but try when they can. But also look at practicing autonomy and other stuff when you can. So I'm going to be trying to get that into there, but I literally have not been drawing for a long time. Advice? I thought she was going to stream tonight, but she didn't stream tonight, which is kind of disappointing because I'm watching her work. It's brilliant. And I get so many ideas just with her work. So that's not too bad. Our next step would be that was original outline. And that's that one. So we can, I still think it makes it there. Look at this, it looks very, but that's perfect, I think. So that can go back off. The ear's fine. That could be a bit big. But it's the way they're turning the head, which makes it hard trying to get that look. That's something I've got to figure out. There is something else I've got to figure out too. So let's remove. We're not going to combine those layers yet till we get everything right. Sorry, just listening to watching another streamer, but they're really good. But that's okay. I'll live alone. Now this one, because the hairstyle will block the face sweater. Not the ear though. And I could probably, that could stay. That could stay as part of that. The hair doesn't need. Chin's going to be worked on a bit more. I think it's not so. I think I might make it smoother. Have it coming down here more. That's just not how I want that chin to look. We want. Do we want like a double chin maybe? So like that. Really no. Maybe that might get it to go up further there instead of going to there. If it goes to there. That works. The chin's not quite right. I'm surprised she's doing. Yeah, I'm surprised she's. It's a bit odd. But anyway. Ah. Gotta be careful when you do that. Gotta hold the space bar down. Okay, so that's. I'm just getting ideas. Sometimes I get an idea and I just copy and paste them. I get an idea like the hair, but other ideas I might get. Try to find. How do you spell chin? CH. Chin styles. Chin, I think it's it. See, like, let's have a look here. These are what you can find online. I'll probably get one I can then copy around it, maybe. Gives you an idea of what you're trying to create, and then probably put. And then copy and then remove that chin. working? That. That actually might work. If I copy, that's the lump I'm trying to get. So you want a bit more around there, go a bit in there. But it's very leaning forward though. I might be able to get part of that into it. Just what we'll do is we're going to okay, so that can go away now. What I'll try to do, because that just looks flat. I don't like the look of that. So we want to input that one there. Way too big, of course. It's behind that, but we're going to go behind the other one. So what we need, put that there like that. If we do an outline, we don't need the color. Good. Turn off the and no, turn that on. Let's stay on. Where is it's on number 4? Why are you on number 4? Okay. Now we want to pick you up. And we want to put that into there. So we can try to see that's the size of the face. That's how the lips are. But that means yeah, how can I do this? Could I do but then the ear's going to be off. That gives me an idea how to draw that. Put that there. How am I going to do that? I want to try to get that shape into there. So how do I want to shape that? So I get the eraser. Okay, then we want a pen marker. So if they're coming out from there, we will probably have it coming out. Perfect. So A little bit of maybe too high up. How far is the tune from there? Damn it. Did I just make that worse? Okay. Okay, that looks. Could go a bit more into here though. Number 4 will be deleted then. That might have to do. Still probably not quite 100% drawing. I'm trying to do this with a bloody mouse and fucking keyboard, so yeah. Okay, so that's that done. Now the next thing we want to bring into here, we're just doing a very this is my very first fairy. We got this from a friend of mine. I'll probably draw for about another 10 minutes or so, then I'll probably head off because time-wise. I don't want to go to bed too late. I know I've got to do anatomy and all that. I want to learn how to do. That's going to be the next thing I've got to learn how to do. I'm going to really sit down and probably get pen and paper going again. There's so much I want to do. I'm going to bring that up, and we want to bring this into play. This here is done by a friend of mine. You can say tattoo design for left leg. But it's actually brilliant. I want to try to replicate the line drawing we want. Okay, we're still going to get rid of. How do we get rid of that? How do I get rid of? Okay, we want this one to be put on top, I think. So we eventually figured out what we want to do. Because this one here is going to sit on an arm. So we're going to shrink that down. Eventually I want to probably put this Actually, could actually put onto a leg there. Each one of these characters, so I'm going to find a way to clear that background. So what I want to do is I want to, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do is put that there, do another layer, and sketch that onto there. That means that part of the leg's going to be bare. I think every fairy I'm going to have is going to have like an earring of this or a thing. So how would I do? Or do I want to put it? Then I go turn it maybe? But then I could probably put my shorts maybe and have shoes on and potential shorts on. Then that can be bare arms to a point there and have like a shirt, t-shirt, tight t-shirt that covers that area. Or could I put it on a wing maybe? No, every put on an S. Just working out where I would like to. Yeah, but then I have to. Then she'd have to have a naked ass. So I don't want to make a naked fairy. On a wrist and have it angled that way on a wrist. So how do I turn? Can I turn that one? This one? Oh, yeah, Ah, that's awesome. So I could have it on a wrist. Like that. But you're gonna still have to somehow shape that into. I'm losing so much detail though, going so small. That's the only trouble. How do I make? Remember, I'm on the keyboard and mouse too. Yeah, but then that suit, really, if you're looking at the wrist, looking at the hand, that's really not. That's the side of the hand, so that's not going to work. I think the leg probably the best bet for it because if you look at that's where the side of the thumb is. That would be the side of the hand, and that's where you got to blend all that in. That could work, but then I want to get shorts on it. They're very low shorts, but if I put it here, I can get shorts down to the knees. Maybe not here and shorts on, but try to maybe angle better or an ankle bracelet. Ankle one. Now that's a shoe. Got to go into there. Remember this, you got to form the shape of the skin as well. So then, of course, the tattoo will have to be somehow incorporated into that format. Yeah, but the detail though, I'm going to lose so much detail. What I might do is, first of all, bring this out so we can see it much better. And put it over here for the time being. And expand it. I'm going to try to figure out how to do a layer. I'll do that as a layer. I've got plenty of space. We can just put this one into it. See, that's how the size is. And that's how, see, shrinking it down makes it look little. So if we trace over that, alright, I wish I had the fucking pen. I don't have a pen, which is annoying. If I trace that and get the colours how I want on it first, then I can probably integrate it into one of the legs or arms or somewhere else to fit the fairy. But because every time you shrink that down, so I'll put that there. Okay, so that's top one. So we want to add another layer. And now we want to work on that layer. So we want to work with possibly, let's try and have a look. Bring out the colour. That might work because we're looking maybe gold. I'm looking for maybe more of gold. Too dark. Two. I want to get golden colour. Golden. I think I'm a bright one, but I don't think I really want to make it bright. Two. That one. That one now. Perfect. Okay, so we got that. Now we just gotta get the size right. Do we want a particular brush for it? Do we want ink? Ink. Oh, that does not look good. No, that does not look good. Love pen. That's called love pen. That's actually not too bad, but we need to get the size of it down. Oh, that could do the detail. That work. Just have a look, see how it goes. Needs to be thicker, doesn't it? Probably a fraction thicker. Now we can, that's okay. We're going to try trace this out. I'm thinking of making them pearls. Okay. This one will be over this one. So I'll do this whole one. I'd like a more golden colour, but I can't seem to find a good way to get the golden colour what I get. So this will have to do till I can actually figure out how to do it. So I'm just trying to copy it. And I'll have to put his name in there somewhere too. Yeah, very good friend of mine who lives here in Locksport. He's fucking awesome when it comes to drawing and that. And I mean, there's a tattoo, so we don't have to worry about. We want to be a bit more. The one with. I'm going to try to do it justice. If I. Good morning, Hyper. I'm just going to mute myself. It is coming there. Ah. Why did I do that? I hold the space bar down. I'm going to try to make it so it looks like a one-piece thing. But do I want it as black or do I want it yellow? I think I might redo that whole thing. Yeah, I might keep it just as a pure black tattoo instead of a yellow one. Yeah, okay, let's rearrange all this then. Take all that off and we'll make it a pure black tattoo. That's how he has his. I was going to try thinking using that, the colour and all that in there, but I got a feeling pure black tattoo is much better for what I'm trying to accomplish. It makes it hard because you can't see the layer underneath, but that's what I was thinking of doing that, then doing I want that there. We want that to join onto there, so we want that to go there. That look. It's hard because I got that background. I'm trying to deal with that grey background. It makes it harder with the white as well. So from there to there, we want to make it nice. Do we need that? Trace the whole lot, then we can always remove stuff and put stuff back into it. No, I'll probably get back into a bit of Borderlands 2, but Borderlands 4. But I'm trying to get this done. That's actually working quite well, looking quite well. Got more tidying up to do. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be. I want like a tattoo, and this will be. Once I make it though, I think I want to keep that one. Once I work out the size, and I can get if I can actually get this thing scale it up and scale it down, and fit it onto any part of the body or into a jewelry or into the clothing or something like that. On each all my pieces, that's where I'm going to try to keep one piece the same. Would that work? May modify it a little bit, maybe because it might be like a magic one that could have something in here, or warrior could have something into there. I don't know yet. I haven't got that far in my head. I'm just trying to. I'm just hoping I'm doing his work justice. And I'll have to put his name into here as well. Because I will not take credit for other people's work. Okay, so how do we want to do this? How we recapture that? It's too wide maybe there. We want to go straight. No, I think that wide just might be actually what it needs. Not too wide. That won't work. This is for, I'm going to make this a signature piece for all my artwork. Gotta remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be like a tattoo. So, like a tattoo, you want to have it so it looks real. Hold on. Okay, that was a. So we want to try it. That works. That actually works. Okay. And then we're going to figure out the size of it and stuff like that. Probably won't colour it in because his drawings and stuff like that for these type of things have always been black and white. I've always been like black. And they've been really, really good. And they suit for that type of tattoo. So I'm trying to figure out, we just get these circles. They get the illusion that they will join together. Probably put something into there, but you don't want to overcomplicate it. Oops, that's a bit flat. Don't speed it up. Now that's different. Then they change into different shapes here. I might keep them as pearls though. Probably pearls to go through there instead of having any shapes. I'll keep them as pearls. There is a tool you can get below that could add. I think he's the reason why he's broken that up somehow. I want them to join, yeah. I probably want something. Work. That works. Mouse moves the wrong way. I'm touching that or not. Hmm? Okay, that's looking good. That looks pretty cool. Still got all of it in there. You're too fast with this. Okay, so we Oh, that's actually looking pretty good. I think I'll do it justice here. Oh, just talking. I'm talking on stream. I'm hoping I can do this justice on here. I'm going to find a way, maybe J there. I have to work out later. So I'm adding my own slight personality to it as well. I'm not copying everything exactly how it's supposed to, how he's done it. There's a rough sketch as far as he's concerned. He calls it a rough sketch. But I'm like, yeah. Ah, this is going to be interesting. I'm missing some lines. What straight line do I want to? slightly curved. Okay, so well, oh, no. Try to give it, don't want it to be too even and too uneven. So hard when it's so cold as well. I'll put that big heater on. No, don't worry about that. I didn't turn it on. Problem is when it gets so cold, yeah. It makes it very hard to do certain things. And controlling the mouse better. Trying to get those circles just right. Ah, this is weird. I'm listening to another streamer. Yeah, I don't call doing things like this a waste of time. I do. Well, you can do a lot of things if you want. You can play games and video games, or you can create art, or you can just sit down and watch movies all night if you want to. I'm listening to this. I'm going to turn it down a bit. Do I want to try to... That suits that. See, that's got a bend. That's straight. And there's a curve. That needs to probably come out. Okay. This actually make a very good bloody tattoo. Hmm? That's actually looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. How do we do? Trying to make it so it keeps the pattern, but also creates a very interesting, like the tattoo type effect. How he's tried to represent it. Keep it a bit rustic as well. Damn mouse. Not the mouse is like cold. My hands are like freezing. But I'm liking doing what I'm doing. Ah. This is going to be a bit interesting how to try to get this. It's got to be curved. So what am I going to do? Maybe if I take, if I do and there, join that. Sometimes you get those lines perfect and they look absolutely bloody brilliant. And other times you go, ugh. See, that one there should have a line. That's the line there, but this one doesn't though. What the lines actually do? That's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know why it does randomly samples colors of this one. Program needs to be better. Nope. Damn it, it's annoying. That actually works. Hey. Not bending. Don't do that. Nope. Stop doing that. See, it's grabbing colors that's not supposed to grab. I'm trying to not do that. I think that turned out pretty good. I'll need the symbol. That turned out pretty good. Where would I put? Okay, first of all, jump around this. Why don't I get her? Okay, probably gonna head off soonish, but try to. Part one. Turn off that layer. That one. Zoom out. Space bar. Well, o'clock. I'm probably going to get some sleep soon. Probably get some sleep. It's here. Okay, so that turned out pretty good, I think. Save that image, as. So the problem we're going to face. This is going to be this an image by itself, so it doesn't need to go into another layer. But once it does, we want to keep that one separate as well. It's a way to save a separate layer. Okay, what I might do here. Okay, so we don't need that much more details than now we need, do we? So do we want to? What I want to try to do is, where's the big eraser? We can use that one in a second. What we're going to do is save this under a separate thing as well. Or we can actually just save that like that, and we can always just cut it out and put it into something else, delete everything else, and then have that separately. We're going to save as. Let's have a look, see if it's there. Okay, so let's have a look. Save it as Jared's tattoo, separate file. Open that up. Oh, you can open up with that one too. I like that tattoo. Now, the next thing we're going to have to work on. That one's going to be kept. So next thing we've got to work on what. So we could possibly have a look at it. That's not. If we just type in J, maybe. Try to search for that. Okay. Yeah, but then you got to look at the size difference. Don't have the right other program. There's a lot of more programs I can get, which I've got to figure out to do. So that layer we don't need. If that was the original, turn mine off. That was the original, and turn one on. Pretty much closely represented it. Well, the best I could. I added more stuff onto there, but maybe I might remove that part. go eraser. Make sure they're all join up together. Try to get this a bit better. See if we don't need any other. Take those off. Yeah, that looks a lot better, but do I want them off? So we're just going to continue on to work on this one. And just tie it in. Now I'm just want to try to do is fix up any holes. I'm removing these lines from there because I don't think they need to be there in the finished piece. That does look good, but I don't know. It doesn't show it, like, doesn't do it here, but he's still there. But what I might do is remove them out of the picture and just see how that looks by itself, so to speak, and tidy up any mistakes I've made, like not joining up together properly and stuff like that. And that's what I'm trying to do here. This is pretty much a tattoo, or it could be a jewelry piece. But if I make it into a jewelry piece, it'll be totally different. Or it could be worked. I've seen my daughter do jewelry pieces, and she skills are fucking awesome. Yep, he went disconnected, I think. I wouldn't expect this bloody, what, you got 30 odd degrees over there? What? Yeah. Well, they do have, what, 67 million people living in England. Well, England has 67 million. Yeah. You right there? So, I'm just tidying this up so I have I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything sort of in place before I then try to move it. It doesn't have to be precise, the circles, because we are talking a tattoo. And if you think about it, you don't need a precise tattoo. I think that's much better, that one. I'll get, like, that's actually interesting how that's done. That means that line would be in here somewhere, but how would I? Yeah, there's pills. Does there be anything in here? No, but how do I? Does that make it? Does that make it more unique having it like that instead of trying to draw it all up perfectly? Hmm. That can go. Do I want? Take that out. I think give the illusion that there is depth into it too, but I'm trying to grab this piece, make it a little bit like my own at the same time, so I can use this on all my characters. Eventually, all my little my own OCs, what you call them, my own original characters, are going to be having. Will have this as a mark on them, so to speak. I know you had these marked out, but I'm trying to think if I could tell you what would I like. How could I do it justice? works pretty well. Maybe that one. And it's just trying to fine tune it to what I want it to look like and achieve, but also do it justice as well. That actually turned out well. I'll always import this as a photo as well. Oh. There we go. Now, I'm probably thinking I might put a J or something into it, into there, into this somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. First of all, let's save that on that one, and also save it over the other one, which from what I'm working on. Now, we want to get rid of that one there, don't we? See, that's the original. That's how the original looked, which is quite good. It gives it a bit of a rustic look to it, and having stuff like that there is quite good. And then I'm going to trace over it. I don't think I want to add colour into it unless I'm doing that as a jewellery piece. But I think that turned out pretty well. Here's interesting. I like how that is broken up like that. Actually makes sense. Having it like that, even that not connecting, actually makes sense. Yeah, it does actually. When you don't see it, when you see it like this, it didn't make sense too much. But when you actually color it in, it makes perfect sense, so to speak. So, keep forgetting I've got to hold down the space bar. That line. I'll keep that there. That would step out to there, go down to there because it's sort of blocking that. So yeah, I'm happy with that, how it's turned out. Now, first things first, we're going to remove that one now. We don't need that in the picture. That one there now is going to be moved. Not that one. That one. keep forgetting sometimes I've got to select the layer and all that. So where do we want to put this particular tattoo now? I'll shrink it down. We want to angle it so it sits. There's a left leg, but how do I want that to look? Problem is it's so small versus everything else. How would I represent that tattoo there? Or would it be better off somewhere else? Could tattoo our wings. Have a cross on each wing. So you could probably take that up to there. Like that. And put the tattoo there on a wing. But tattoo. Or I could make it as an earring. Then you lose so much detail though. I won't choose an earring. Definitely not going to suit that as an earring. That would be a good spot to put it actually. I think that would be a good spot, but then how do I gotta put shorts? That knee curves. You'd have to have them coming here for shorts. So they won't affect the tattoo. That point, like it's like when you create characters for tattoos, you put items over the tattoos. And you go, what's the point of having a fucking tattoo? That would work. Very, very. Now that makes a lot harder. All that detailed work now has vanished in that tattoo, but in the detail, all those circles that were big now are tiny. I don't know how would that I could fix that up. gives you an idea. It's a blurry tattoo, but it gives you an idea. Unless I make the character bigger and then go from there. But I'm happy with that tattoo, actually, that effect. The cat hairs on the face are doing my head in here. That is really... I like the smile. Nose and smile goes well together, but do I want... The cat hairs, I've got to work on the eyes yet as well. That is now the right size. That is probably the right size. The hair looks good, so all I have to do now really is fine-tune. Fine-tune the face, like the eyes and that. And then colour it in. That's going to be the harder part, colouring, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Do I want to add two separate coloured wings? Like if so, this one we're going to save under my name, the one I'm trying to work on. My first thing, Jared. Yeah, but the tattoo is the only thing that I don't know if I could probably enhance that, redraw it over again, but it'd be very hard to do that one. Just curious if I've read it there. If I did that, yeah, but I'd lose so much detail trying to redo that. Yeah, I'd have to get really thin. That means like go to say a 1. Yeah, see, it doesn't really do it justice. Yeah. And that one, that actually would work. So I can make this one to a heel or maybe. So we add the rest of the layers back. That's how that would look. But you need that one to really see that one pop out. So that actually does work. This one stands out. Makes people want to have a look at it and zoom into it. It'll go stand out on the flesh of the skin too. See, now the wings, I've got to figure out what colour wings I want for the fairy to be. See, this is good. I like this. I don't know if I've changed this picture anyway. Maybe get rid of the pin lids. I don't know yet. But there's some angles on there I want to try to capture with the camera a bit more, a bit different angles. And add that into it. But that actually looks good. Okay, the hair and the work together. I probably will add that layer onto it once I've finished off the painting itself. When I've finished off the colours inside here, then I'll work on that. That one I know I don't probably need anymore, but I've got it for reference. The eyes of this is going to be the hard thing to work on now. I want to try to. This is all. I have to admit, I've done pretty well with just keyboard and mouse. These are a bit rough. Rough is a bit rough would be the word I'd use for it. But if I had a pen, it'd be a lot smoother. How do I want to put cat tail on here? The head's got the right size. It's got the eyes, and now I've got to colour it in. It's all on it. Oh, fix up the detail of the eyes, colour it in, and maybe work on. Maybe pull that ear. Might pull that ear a bit back. So if we look at like. Now these are the colours looking at. Like the rainbow one. The green one. So they're not the same. So these are like the fairy wings that I used because you grabbed one of the fairies from down there. I'm looking at colour combinations and how you'd go about doing it. Oh, these are nice. Like these are the fairies. The fairy I used from here, which is kind of good. I could use that one, but then of course that would be. It's not what I've used. So it's a lot. I picked probably the hardest one. I could have picked an easy one to do. Shouldn't I? We'll put shoes on her because it looks like she's wearing shoes. But we've got to find the right color combination. But I'm going to call it that one there. Let's have a look at that. That there. I could use. So let's have a look how that would look. Oh wow, that's really intense. I'm not that good. I like this one. I'm looking for a combination of colors so I can use that then as a template for the color I want to try to. Oh, that's cool. Too bright. The color I want to try to represent for this particular fairy and what I want to try it to be. That's not a bad color combination. Good luck, it's broken up there. So you want to break up the wings so that have like veins in them, and then try to figure out. First of all, figure out the color combination, then break up the wings to have veins in them, and I can then input it to there. Maybe I will look online as well. See, work on what type of shape do you? The shape's there, but how do I control it? Oh, that's really delicate work. And then like that one there is nice. But look at the detail work on that. So they're the wings. Try and have a look at the wings I've got versus what's available and how they develop it. Do I want it see-through or do I want it to be a flat color? I haven't figured that out part. You know, I'm going, oh, that's pretty, those colors. Well, how would I make that see-through? I like the white veins. Like that is really nice too. Very dark, intense black, and then goes into there. That's like danger. It's just about to try to find the right. Not really after the shape, because I've already got the shape on now. Just trying to find a color combination where it can go into there. What I want to try to create. What type of fairy? Like a healer fairy. Then do I want to have the blue there as a healing part? Because I can use this as a template for the color type of thing for what I'm trying to achieve in there. But how do I draw the lines into that? Do I want to draw lines into it? I have to look online as well. That's going to be the next big job, but just trying to figure out that. But my main thing, I think, next I'm going to work on, finish off the eyes so I can get like a cat's eyes into there. And then maybe the hair. I'll do that, the wings, because they're going to be the hardest part to do, I think. The hair's there, I just got to colour that in and find the right colours for it. I've got to find the right wing colour as well, if that makes sense. That looks cool. But like that one there. Oh, that's just no. Sorry, that's just no. But that's what I'm looking at. Just trying to come across. Oh wow. The eyes are going to be the next big thing I'm going to try to challenge myself on. And then eventually get the right colour combinations. Then could always use the colour tool and just pick the colour out and put them into where you want to be, the base colour and so forth like that. And then do the lines and try to work on the shading and stuff like that. Oh, wow. Now that is... Then you got to look at how does it affect it. Going to be affected in daylight too. So you've got to add that as a backdrop. I'll probably put that back into there. That is a backdrop. So it's a bright day. How do you want these to stand out against that backdrop? Then the colour, the eye colour, and all that. I've got to come back into play. So that's right where the eyes are. That's perfect. The ears are right spot there. That tattoo looks good. Yeah, that's just my own madness, which I'm going to work on. Anyway, I'm happy with that. That turned out very well. We'll still work on it. The face, I'm still a bit iffy, but it's a bit hard to try to do that with like the mouse and keyboard. So anyway, I'm gonna jump off. My name's Commander Blackstarlord at your service, signing off. Thank you again for watching my videos and all comments.